Good morning, boys and girls. Today you're going to be working on lesson 21. If you haven't turned in your assignments, make sure you go ahead and do so. Look at part 1. Touch the letter CH in part 1. The letters CH go together and make the sound ch. What sound? Ch. Touch the letters SH. The letters SH go together and make the sound sh. What sound? Touch the letters WH. The letters WH go together and make the sound ooh. What sound? Ooh. Now listen. Your turn to tell me the sound in each combination. First word, what sound? Ch. What word? Chin. Next word, what sound? Ch. What word? Chip. Next word, what sound? Shh. What word? Ship. Next word, what sound? Ooh. What word? Whip. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue with column B. First word, what word? Weather. Next word, what word? Which. Next word, what word? Church. Now let's go ahead and look at part 2, boys and girls. What sound? S. What word? Surfacing. Next word. What sound? E. What word? Succeed. Next word. What sound? A. What word? Remained. Next word. What sound? What word? Burnt. Next word, what sound? E. What word? Speech. Next word, what sound? What word? Returned. Next word, what sound? E. What word? Teachers. So everybody should be looking at part 3. We're going to talk about what those words mean. Word number 1, decide. When you decide something, you make up your mind about it. Word number 2, gasp. When a person takes a short, fast breath, that person gasps. Touch word number 3, what word? Sprawl. To sprawl is to stretch out. Number 4, what word? Immediately. Immediately means that something happens right away. Everybody should be looking at part 4. First word, darkness. Dirty. Pounding. Warn. Meant. Warm. Exclaimed. Water. Trembling. Intended. Gauge. Might. Indicate. Gasped. Speck. Second. Closer. Pointed. Somewhere. Right. Climbed. Scared. Caught. Grinder. Pressing. Wrong. Trying. Realized. However. Disc. Listen. Dough. Wrist. Dot. Everybody should be looking at part 5. All these words have more than one part. The first part and the last part are circled. Touch word number 1. Word number 1 is expensive. What word? Expensive. What's the first part? X. What's the last part? Save. The middle part is spelled P-E-N. What does that part say in the word? Pen. So the parts are X, pen, save. Say the whole word. Expensive. Word number 2 is responsible. What word? Responsible. What's the first part? Re. What's the last part? Able. The middle part is spelled S-P-O-N-S. What does that part say in the word? Spons. So the parts are responsible. Say the whole word. Responsible. Word number 3 is approval. What word? Approval. What's the first part? App. What's the last part? L. The middle part is spelled P-R-O-V. What does that part say in the word? Prove. So the parts are app, prove, all. Say the whole word. Approval. Part number 4. Word number 4 is unfortunate. What word? Unfortunate. What's the first part? Un. What's the last part? It. Now the middle part is spelled F-O-R-T-U-N. What does that part say in the word? Get ready. Fortune. So the parts are unfortunate. Say the whole word. Unfortunate. Next word is entirely. What word? Entirely. What's the first part? N. What's the last part? Lee. The middle part is spelled T-I-R-E. What does that part say in the word? Get ready. Tire. So the parts are entirely. What word? Entirely. Let's go ahead and read the sentences. Sentence letter A. The shoes were entirely too expensive. That means the shoes cost way too much. Sentence letter B. They hoped they would get approval from their friends. That means they hoped their friends would support them for what they did. Sentence C. He was entirely responsible for the unfortunate situation. That means he was the one to cause the bad things that happened. Sentence D. It's unfortunate that the bike is so expensive. That means that it's too bad the bike costs too much. Let's go ahead and begin with our story. The title is Deep and Dark Water. Jane remained underwater for another 5 minutes before surfacing. During that time, she tried not to drift too far from the sunken ship. But when she came up, she saw that she was far from the reef, which meant that she was far from the ship. Jane's boat looked as if it were half a mile away. A yellow speck was in the boat. That's Doris, Jane said out loud. Jane was glad to see Doris, even though Doris was far away. Jane waved and yelled, "Hello!" A few seconds passed, then Doris waved back. Jane put her mask down and started to swim back to the boat. When she was about 50 feet from the boat, she yelled, "I saw a ship! I saw it!" Doris said, "What?" Jane swam closer. Then she yelled, "I saw a sunken ship!" Doris dove into the water without her mask or air tanks. She swam over to Jane. Out of breath, Doris gasped, "Where is it?" Jane turned around and pointed to a spot on the east side of the reef. "It's right over there somewhere." "Show me," Doris said. Let me rest a minute, Jane said. I got caught in the current and it scared me to death. Doris said, let's sit in the boat a minute and you can catch your breath. So the teachers swam back to the boat. They climbed in and Jane sprawled out in the bottom of the boat. The sun was a white disk directly overhead. It seemed to burn holes in Jane's eyes. Jane rolled over on her side. I really saw it, she said. It looked big and dark. I don't know why, but I got very scared when I saw it. I felt like I was seeing something that was trying to hide. Oh, I can't wait, Doris explained. Let's go see it right now, trembling and her knees felt wobbly. She pointed to the east side of the reef. It's over there, about 150 feet from the other side of the reef. Jane decided they should swim to the other side of the reef and then dive down. Jane didn't want to let the currents take them past the ship. Before they went down, Jane said, I think it's about 100 feet deep or more. But don't go all the way down. We don't have enough air. Don't go below 60 feet. Down they went through a cloud of bubbles. Down. The water was getting darker. Jane couldn't see the bottom, yet she knew that her eyes would get used to the dark in a minute or so. Down. She could hear her heart pounding, and she could feel the mask pressing against her face. The sound of the bubbles coming from her mouth was very loud. Lub, bub, glub, glub. Down. Something is wrong, Jane said to herself. Then she realized that more than one thing was wrong. The water was too warm. When she passed over the ship before, the water was cold, and now there was no current. Were they in the wrong place? Jane peered down. She couldn't see the bottom. She looked at the depth gauge on her wrist. I've got to see the bottom, she thought. Down, down. Jane kept looking and swimming, but she wasn't looking at her depth gauge, or listening to the sound of her heart. She was now 50 feet down. Doris was above her, trying to signal her, but Jane was looking down and swimming slowly toward the bottom. Suddenly, Jane stopped. She could see the bottom now. It was very far down. This can't be the right place, she thought. I had better go up. When she looked up, she realized that she had gone deeper than she had intended. The sun was green. Doris was a shadow above her. Jane looked at her watch and realized that she did not have enough air to stay underwater very long. If she returned to the surface immediately, however, she might get the bends. Make sure after watching this video you complete lesson 21, boys and girls. Have a great day.